studies in Spain by a Dr. Alphonse Balmori in the last few decades, where he's been looking at the effect on storks or on house sparrows. You know, these birds that enjoy sharing the urban environment with us and have been perfectly capable of doing that over centuries and eons, are now showing great declines in the number of bird species. There's even studies on the migration of birds that show that birds have a naturally occurring, as all life does, amount of magnetite that allows them to sort of follow the ley lines of the Earth. The geomagnetic field of the Earth is how they migrate over great distances, and that these unnatural fields are in fact deflecting them off of their migratory patterns, their migratory routes, and in some cases drawing them right into the towers.
Separating the truth from the lies, coming at you from underneath the Noonan, Georgia climate-engineered skies. You're about to receive a dose of the shock treatment. What to do? What to discuss today? I think we need to go back to 5G. I mean, I've talked about the chemtrails, I've talked about the vaccines, and part of the truth community, our duty is to talk about the 5G rollout, folks, and the fiber optics, which is the backbone of 5G. That's right, the backbone, from what I researched, and they're laying it down. They laid it down in our neighborhood, went up in the mountains, they're laying it down there in the mountains. There's no escape the cell towers, there's no escape the 5G rollout. You want to know why? Because we haven't reached critical mass awareness. Now, you see right here, is a video showing you how fiber optics is getting laid down. And they dig up your yard, so if they start doing this, if you start seeing markers, little flags on them all over, in front of your property in your neighborhood, that means they're putting the fiber optics out. Now, I asked a couple of workers, the manager, our supervisor, who was laying it down, I said, did you know this is part of 5G? And why gig? He goes, no, it's not. It's just for faster data. I said, yeah, what do you think 5G is? And this is the backbone. All right, the 5G towers, they're going to have like from what I understand, a mother tower of some sort, and a bunch of little towers all over the place. The cities are already getting hammered by EMF cell towers, by the electromagnetic frequencies, by the radiation. Driving through Atlanta, as soon as you hit North Atlanta, all the way to South Atlanta, till you leave it, hammered by radiation. Heck, there was even a campground up in Cleveland, Georgia, Elkmont. The whole entire place getting hammered by radiation. This is serious business, folks. This is the backbone. So because the 5G microwave technology, the waves can't travel very far, they have to hop from tower to tower, so they're going to put them in your light post, they're going to put them in architecture, and shame on any church that allows them to put them in the steeples or near their property. Although I've seen one looming right over a church, lurking about, real close, by a church, and no one even bats an eye. I mean, they don't even try to make these cell towers look inviting. They look like monsters, and they are, folks. But the fiber optics is the backbone to bring this stuff into your home, if you allow it. With the Y gig, that's coming up next. It's going to be Wi-Fi on steroids, like 5 gig is going to be 4G on steroids. And it's going to be tied with the Internet of Things. It's going to allow automation all over the place. AI takeoff, and yeah, you guessed it, word has it, Terminators. And why do you think they're talking about robots and normalizing it more and more? Like that Sophia in, I think she became the first robot citizen in Saudi Arabia. You can't make this stuff up, folks. So this is what they're doing all around. If you see them rolling this out and doing this, that's what they're up to. Whether or not the worker knows what the purpose is for, that's what it's for. It's to bring this into the businesses, bring it into the churches, bring it into the schools, and bring it into your home. If you allow it, the Y gig is going to go hand in hand with the 5G death towers. It's unbelievable. And also, as you see here, a couple discussing the die-off of birds, the die-off of bees. When was the last time you seen a bee? You might have seen one bee. We used to see tons of bees, tons of them all over the place, right? Now you can't even find them. And the same thing with birds, about 6 to 8 million birds a year dying off. So we understand that it's killing off the frequencies, kill off the birds, the insects, the animals. When you hear about the birds falling out of the sky, you might want to say, gee, what's causing all that? Well, it also causes miscarriage, 5G will, and these 4G frequencies aren't so hot either. Don't think they don't do any damage. Of course they do. But 5G is going to be all that on steroids, as I said. And it can cause miscarriages, break the blood-brain barrier, which make you susceptible to a host of ailments. I'm sure voice to skull will be easier to manage, along with the AI, along with the robots, the automation nation. And this guy right here says, whenever you hear something about to the effect, if you ever hear about 5G coming your way, run, something like that. So even he's saying it, even though he's a proponent of it. They're telling you that this stuff is dangerous. It's military-grade weaponry, folks. Military-grade weaponry. They want to say they don't know what it does, they haven't studied it. How could they not study it if the military used it? That doesn't make any sense. And they could use it for crowd dispersal. So if 5G could be used for crowd dispersal, why couldn't it be used? I mean, is that going to make your skin feel like it's burning? Think about it. The microwave society, you're getting microwaved is what's happening with the 5G once they roll it out. And even now, we're in electronic soup with the Wi-Fi, cell towers all over the place, even power lines. You'd be surprised. Go by to get it, even if you had a cheapy EMF detector, like I got. A couple 100 feet away from a bunch of power lines, right out here at Bullsboro Drive, and it's going off like crazy. All these cars parked under it, near it. It's unbelievable. 6 waves from Sunday with the radiation, but 5G is going to be the final nail in the coffin. I hate to say it like that. But if it's killing 6 to 8 million birds already a year, all these frequencies being in our electronic soup, and a lot of animals, what do you think it's going to do once this 5G in full effect? And I came across information that China used it during some big event. They used 5G to help them with some speed train or something like that out there, and somehow the pigs are scared out of the pigs and animals around it, near it. So there's that. But it also is going to tamper with your body's ability to absorb oxygen. That's right, folks. Because word on the screen says your cells absorb oxygen at 60 gigahertz. And if they're running it at that 60 gigahertz, then yeah, congratulations, slow asphyxiation. Not to mention that it's going to cause the C word, I don't like saying it, that rhymes with answer, you know what I'm saying, to double or triple coast to coast. You wonder how they're going to get the population down from 350 million to 98 million or whatever by the year 2025? It's the chemtrails, it's the vaccines, the food. They keep treating, you wash it down with your GMO, crafted tap water, you wash your GMOs down, and then you go take your flu shot. They give them out for free. Be very leery of anything the government gives out for free. Alright? And then with Section 13 of the pamphlet they don't give you, showing that vaccines are not tested for carcinogenic, mutagenic, or infertility. And the fluoride that's poison, with the hazard label on the big bag, and everything else in the environment, yeah, it won't be easy, because you know what? We're trying to wake you up and get on the same page so we can reach critical mass awareness. But they got so many sheeple lulled to sleep that it's really for lack of a better word, it's a daunting task. It's a very difficult task. Waking the sheeple up, not to mention the shadow banning, many truther channels being taken down, and yeah, and the video gaming. Yeah, let's go there. The wireless controls, the wireless. I hear that that Microsoft Xbox is one of the worst offenders for emitting radiation. Then you got the AirPods that a lot of sheeple have on in the ears. First of all, they look stupid. Second of all, with no wires. Second of all, it's frying your brain. Frying your brain. Is that a good thing? To be frying your brain? I think a lot of sheeple's brains are already fried. They say zombie nation. We are the zombie nation. It's a zombie world out there. So 5G. And the question is, you know, we got Trump in office, and I know there's some people that say he needs to take it down. Well, I agree. But does he know what he needs to take it down? Does he know of the detriments of it? Before we confirm that he does know of the detriments and still wants to roll it out, before we know that, I'm just going to say, let's get the president's attention. And, you know, because just because you're a millionaire, just because you're in office, doesn't mean you know every little nook and cranny. I mean, he is advised, and he's probably not being advised about the detriments of this sort of vaccines. I mean, I took vaccines up until my late 20s. Of course, I got a flu shot for 4 years. I was perpetually sick, and then I figured it out on my own. That it was poison. All right? So, you know, and I didn't know anything about 5G or Wi-Fi. I have a degree in everything, taught middle school. But that doesn't mean I knew about frequencies and cell phone emitting radiation, not until I went down the rabbit hole. So again, is the president down the rabbit hole of truth when it comes to stuff like this? All right? So let's see him on record being presented with the truth about the dangers of 5G and vaccines and chemtrails and GMOs, and then take it from there. All right? But as far as this is concerned, yeah, in every corner, 5G mini towers, and they'll be in the architecture, in the mall signs, they'll put them everywhere. You know, they'll stick them anyway. They might stick them up the sheeple's ass. I mean, the sheeple don't care. I mean, they think everything's wonderful. Airgate, could you imagine that? The sheeple think everything's wonderful. They think that there's no problem with it. The cell towers don't emit radiation. They think the AirPods are okay. They think that, you know, they can drink the fluoride and get an extra dose at the dentist of fluoride, dentist's office, and brush your teeth with fluoride. Did you know they're putting carrageenan in certain toothpaste, like Tom's, that's supposed to be fluoride-free, but they add carrageenan to it. So you got to read your labels, folks. Carrageenan causes stomach C word that rhymes with answer. So the cities are going to be hammered with a lot of these cell towers because of the cement structures and buildings that block the 5G waves. So they're going to need mini towers all over the place. So you're going to be getting zapped. And they're going to disguise them in trees. Or as trees, I should say. Is that a real tree you're looking at? Not attached to this. Not attached to this. Doesn't even come close to looking real. But this is what they're going to do. They're going to get a little crafty now. They're going to have ugly ones out there, but also going to have a little beautification with the 5G as they radiate the shit out of everyone. Radiation, folks. They could use this for mind control. That's the level of the beast system we're dealing with. Does that look normal to you? Does that sky look normal? None of this is normal, folks. You're going to see one way or another. If we don't get on the same page, you're going to watch it turn for the worse. People dying off sooner than later, even more so than now. I mean, why do you think they have these centers all over the place for the C word that rhymes with answer, popping up all over? Why do you have more walk-in clinics and more hospitals everywhere? It's because people are getting sicker. Why? Have you ever started asking yourself that? It's not because they're living longer. As a matter of fact, in the United States, the longevity rate has gone down. So look at this guy. Oh yeah, proponent for the 5G. But he also said, run. 5G coming your way. No, let's stand our ground. Let's get on the same page. Yes, it's dangerous. What about the Li-Fi? The LED lights, the Internet of Things, the total surveillance, listening to you through your lights as you get sprayed with chemtrails. That's not a normal scene, folks. None of that's normal. The terraforming of the earth, the terraforming of humanity, actually transhumanism. And this is what it does. It affects your skin, worsens your eye health, lowered bacterial resistance to make you sicker, more biologically active organs, more dangerous. All right, so it's dangerous to your organs, dangerous to your health. Oh yeah, it's one big headache, all right. The grid system, this lockdown, I should say. And it's not going to get better, it's going to get worse if we don't reach critical mass awareness. This is dangerous stuff, folks. This is dangerous stuff. Look at the Georgia Guidestones. In order to keep humanity's balance with nature, perfect balance, keep the population of the world at 500 million or less. How are they going to do it? How are they going to do it? How are they going to depop? Well, you're looking at it right there. That's one way. 6 ways from Sunday. Better wake up. You better get your soul right with Jesus, because this is truly an agenda. And there you go. New World Order coming, baby. You better wake up. Or don't. At any rate, I had to slip in the RFB voice. We'll see you next time, folks. Wake up. Get your soul right with Jesus. Let's reach critical mass awareness. I'll see you next time for another dose of the shock treatment.